Welcome to Crushing with AbbyO. I'm your host, Abby O'Sullivan, a longtime beauty pro turned wellness and lifestyle coach here to help you expand your self-care. You deserve to have the wildly successful career, amazing relationships, and life you desire without sacrificing your own health and well-being. Join me in the no burnout zone to create the lifestyle you desire, filled with elevated energy, confidence, improved health, and self-care habits you'll actually stay consistent with. I'm so excited you're here. Let's get started. Hey, welcome back to part 2 of Become a Self-Care CEO. Yo. That's not actually, there's no yo in the title, but it rhymes. All right, so in the first episode, the first part of this, you established what you want when it comes to your health, self-care, wellness goals. Whatever your goal is or your desired self-care activity that you'd like to do frequently, but seem to not find the time or energy. So take that item, and now how much time do you need for it? I want you to realistically think about this. Maybe in the beginning you need more time for it, or maybe you don't need as much time as you actually thought. Sometimes when we think about these things abstractly, we think we need like all this time, but what is all of this time? Let's get more specific. Is it 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half? And then how many days a week do you want to fit it in? And then write down your daily schedule, weekday and weekend. What do your days typically look like? What is going on throughout the day? And make this detailed so that you can see where can you fit your desired self-care, health, wellness activity in? Where will you fit it in? Now, sometimes something else, a different action, has to take place before you can fit that thing in. So maybe you see that in order to fit in a workout, you need some help with dinner or chores around the house. And if you live with someone, this would involve a conversation around that. That is going to have to happen maybe while you're trying to fit that in, but before you can do that. Or maybe you take 1 or 2 things off the to-do list for that day in order to get your workout in, and just allow yourself some like flexibility in taking care of yourself and getting things done. Just like a little bit of balance, like not really balance, but just a little bit of harmony there. Or choose an easy dinner or prep the whole thing, or prep ingredients like a different day. So, I cook on Monday so that I can work out Tuesday and not have to worry about dinner. It's already ready, et cetera, et cetera. You understand. But for example, when I started working out with a trainer, I was super busy doing lash extensions and usually working till 6:30-ish. And I was setting up my training sessions for like 6 p.m. or 6:30. So that meant that I needed to change my work schedule and cut those appointments, the appointment times off earlier. So I needed to be finished and be able to get out the door within like a half an hour, 20 minutes before, so I could get there on time. And I also brought my meals for those days and my gym clothes so that I was fed and able to change quickly. Sometimes I would do that before my last appointment even. So I could just run out the door and be there on time. Maybe have some time to like warm up and stretch and all of that stuff that I would do just to get ready for my training session, also decompress from work a little bit. Those sessions were so important to me, and I was paying for that time. I didn't want to be late, so I did the things that I needed to in order for all of that to work out and for me to be successful at it. I prepared easy meals, I pre-packed my gym bag, I rearranged my work schedule so my last appointment would end on time, and I didn't go over. I didn't take an extra 10 minutes and dawdle on their lap. I was like, no, we gotta go. I think people probably knew that was important to me too. And I didn't let people book there. It was only 2 times a week that I had these sessions, only 2 times. Any other time, I get to the gym when I get to the gym, whatever. This is establishing boundaries, knowing what was important to me and establishing boundaries for myself, boundaries with my clients and my work schedule, communication. Like I would have to have communicated those boundaries and the work schedule to people, saying no if they were like, well, can I come in? No, you can't because I will be gone. I will be getting strong and working out. You're welcome for that. That was not a planned impression, but if you're a 90s kid, then you know what SNL reference that is. And then sticking to all of this, like I have to be able to stick to all of this. This is how it gets done. This is how I'm going to get results. Okay. So you can see where maybe you can fit it in, but you see that maybe something else has to happen before you're really able to like do this consistently. A lot of times it's communication, setting boundaries, and asking for help. Let's expand on the morning routine example from the first episode. So what are the activities that you want to include? How much time do you actually want to spend, or do you realistically have to spend? And maybe you've listed out so many things that you're like, well, realistically, I'm probably only going to get up this much earlier. I only have like really 20 minutes for this morning routine before I need to get ready for work. But I have this list of things, and then the perfectionism and the feeling like you have to do it all this way or it's not going to be a success comes in, and you need to let that go. Give yourself permission to be flexible, especially with the morning routine, because the intention is for it to relieve stress, not to be overwhelming, not to be an added stressor to your day. This isn't the chore to-do list. These are things you get to do for you, for your health, for your well-being, to keep your cup overflowing so that everything in your life benefits. So in some cases, where can you give yourself permission to just be flexible? Check in with your body, check in with your mind. What does my heart want? What does my body need? What would feel good to me this morning? Maybe one morning it's make breakfast, stretch, play with the cat or the dog. Maybe the next morning you add in reading. And then you have this beautiful thing for yourself where you're also checking in with what you need and what you want that day. You have the things that you enjoy doing. And even if you only get to do 3 of them, you're like, that's amazing. That's awesome. I feel so good that I got to do this today. I feel so much less stressed out because I'm not just trying to complete a checklist. I gave myself time. I was able to nourish myself, and I was able to give myself some compassion and release some of that perfectionism. So that's another example of sometimes we have to do something else before we fit that self-care activity in. Maybe I have to let go of like, it has to be this way or it's not going to be successful, the all or nothing mentality. Okay, so if you want to work more on this one-on-one, you have a couple of options. As I mentioned in the previous episode, I offer one-off private wellness coaching calls to help you quickly adjust and elevate your self-care and health practices for a limited time. This option offers additional support beyond the call. So depending on when you're listening to it, that may or may not be available. Or if you want a bit more of an overhaul because you really are feeling very burned out and overwhelmed in your business and life and trying to include these health and self-care wellness practices, tap into the Self-Care CEO Day. This is a one-on-one intensive where I will take a deeper look at what's going on in your life, your business, your schedule, and help you build a self-care toolbox that you love, that feels expansive, that helps you grow and stay consistent without the burnout and guilt. And you do also receive additional support beyond our virtual day together. You can find the links for all of that in the show notes. I hope that this was really helpful. Connect with me on Instagram, CoachAbbyO, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to Crushing with Abby-O. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend and leave a 5-star review. As always, you can connect with me on Instagram at CoachAbbyO or drop me an email at hello@crushingpodcast.com.